Welcome to the Disconnection Podcast. I'm your host for today. My name is Ori Yekutiel. Today's guest is Rhett Alvord, and he is a Marine. What's like your formal rank? What's your
So I retired out of the military or the Marine Corps as a sergeant, which is an E5. It's like almost like the first cool rank.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like you don't have to be. And like you're always gonna be told what to do no matter what. You know?
Everyone's got.
You're always you're always doing a job for somebody, with somebody, whatever. But as a sergeant, it's kind of like being a senior in high school. You're like, I made it to the top.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I'm of your own.
Yeah, exactly. Like everyone's a kid in school. But you're like, I'm at the winner circle of it, and like I get to tell you all you little minions what to do, and like you don't even know what it's like, and stuff like that. And then like just like life, you graduate from high school, and then you're in college, and you're a freshman again.
Gotcha.
And so sergeant would be like the top of like the high school experience, and then once you pick up staff, which is the next rank, you're like back and you're at the beginning again.
Cool.
So that's the best way I can tell you.
Cool.
Yeah.
So where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Boise, Idaho.
Boise, Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
And right now we're chilling at in Oceanside,
San Diego.
Yeah.
I freaking love it here, dude.
We're right next to the military base over here. And I mean, this is like a big military community as well, too, right? Like
so Oceanside is in North County, San Diego. Like basically here in San Diego, they refer to the entire county by North County, East County, and South County. And North County is the Marine portion, and South County, like downtown San Diego, is the Navy portion. So
got it.
There's the biggest Navy and the biggest Marine Corps base in the world in the same county.
I mean, I saw it when I was flying into the airport.
So people are like, so is there a lot of military in San Diego? You're like, it's literally the military town. Like, there's no more military in any other place. Like, Camp Pendleton's the size of Rhode Island. San Diego is right next to Mexico. It's Tijuana, and you have the largest Navy base in the world. It's like awesome.
We're 15 miles, 20 miles from the border. Like
I would probably say like more like 40. I mean, I'll tell you, it takes me about 30 minutes to get there on my bike.
Wow.
So there's that. You know what I mean? And I mean motorcycle, just so everybody knows my Harley.
Yeah.
It's funny because Tijuana is actually one of the funnest places I've ever been. It's got like a lot of like, it might just be from the fact that I have been to a lot of different places in the world, and so like I feel more comfortable traveling, and I guess maybe like outside the United States or more or less like third world countries or whatever. But I love it down there. I get down there and it's like it makes me feel almost more at home than like.
Well, it's also like you're jumping into your backyard.
Yeah.
You're not like going on a flight.
Right.
You're not like going completely out of your element. You're just kind of like, hey, let's take a little night incursion to
yeah, exactly.
TJ,
It makes it so convenient. You're like, hey, you want to get some tacos and go wild for a night? Like, yeah, cool, let's
go.
Yeah, exactly. Some tequila, hang out and stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's so convenient. Yeah.
So how long have you been here? In Oceanside, how long have you been?
Okay, so I let's see, I was from the Marine Corps. 2008 is when I enlisted. My first duty station was Oki. We can get into all that. Like my. Well, let's start
there. Yeah. So you enlisted in Idaho.
Yeah. Okay. So
you enlisted there.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty wild story.
Let's hear it.
In Boise, I grew up, and I'll tell you, like, I usually don't ever tell anybody that I don't love and like trust kind of how cool Boise is, because it's like I protect it. It's like home to me, and like I said, I've been so many places and I've seen so many people and like things like that, and like. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I didn't necessarily take it for granted, but once I left, I saw how amazing my hometown was, like how amazing Boise was, how beautiful it was, how great the people were, how great it is, and it still is. It's growing, and I think it's going to be one of the biggest, most badass cities in the United States here soon, for a lot of different reasons. But anyway, so I was growing up in Boise and stuff, and my parents were divorced, and I don't want to go way too far back, but let's just say like. Growing up for me was like pretty wild. I had 8 sisters, 2 brothers. Wow. my dad was married and divorced 5 times. My mom, it was just good. But here's the thing, it was all fun. I was loved. I never had a day where I didn't think I was going to be fed or clothed or anything like that. But I grew up fast, and I grew up like, not the easiest way, even though I was in a beautiful place. And I was surrounded by, beautiful people.
Gotcha.
So from there, football, wrestling, track, girls, things like that. I was never really good at. It was not the fact that I was never intelligent or like not smart, you would say, at school. It's just I was bored all the time. Like I don't know if you've ever thought of it, but like you learn math and then you learn history and you learn science in these subjects, right? And then like really honestly, like how much do they really develop over 12 years of school? They don't. It's like 1 + 1, and then the next year it's like 1 + 1 - 2. And it's like such a slow progression that I'm like, dude, it's gonna take me 12 years to learn algebra. Like, come on, let's get
Like you
started.
felt like you were way more ahead of the
Absolutely,
curve, like
yeah.
even at that young age.
Yeah, people have said I have
Sure.
ADHD or ADD. It's not. It's just I engage things entirely. Like I jump right in. It's like a boxer. They throw a hard hit, they jump back out. I hit things as hard as I can, and if it's nothing solid, I'm out. And that's
Cool,
how I
man.
looked at school and everything else. I'm like, I get it.
So you felt bored. You felt
Yeah,
like
totally bored. I was more engaged in social in the socialness of it. You know, class clown and blah blah blah. But that's because those are more rewarding to me. The Marine Corps came up because during the end of my high school, like, or towards, you know, you got to figure out what you're gonna do. You're like, what am I gonna do with my life? Well, at the same time, let's see, September 11th. You know, like that was a part of my growing up. You know, I remember being in the living room and my mom was like, I could hear her. I can't remember exactly. She was either crying or yelling. I think she was like startled, like, you know, like any mom or anybody would be, or for that matter, anyone, you know. And I remember her like almost trying to keep us in her bedrooms because she didn't want us to see the news. And I'm like, what is going on?
what grade were you in when
Sixth grade, I think.
Sixth grade? I was in
Seventh
fourth grade.
Yeah, I was either in sixth or something.
Yeah. They took us out of class. Like I was in
Yeah, see?
school in the morning, and like they took us out, and our parents picked us up, and we had no idea. We thought it was a half day.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. It's like,
Yeah.
because like what's ever happened like that? Like Pearl Harbor? But I mean,
Last
that's-
like major thing like that to
yeah,
us at least.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that's like what, the 1940s?
So like that was like a catalyst for you growing up. Like you always had that like with you, that you
Huge.
carried that memory with you.
Yeah, I mean, it's so traumatic. I mean, like,
But what was a tipping point? Like you had to have eventually have walked into an actual recruitment
Well,
office and like.
I think what the tipping point is that growing up from 7th grade to my senior year with all this combination of like not really liking school, so I'm not going to go to college. So does that mean I'm a loser, I'm a failure, like I'm not going to be anybody in life? Because that's what you're told, right?
You knew like by or before senior year that you weren't going to college? Like you
Oh,
were
yeah,
like
so-
long before then? Like
Yeah,
you
so
just
I
weren't
enlisted
good?
in the Marine Corps at the end of my junior year when I was 17.
Wow.
Before you even allowed to, I had to have permission from my parents, which this is a really other interesting part of my enlistment, is that my father was actually in prison at this time. And he forbid me to join the Marine Corps.
Wow.
Yeah, so my dad was in the Army, and my entire life I remember him telling me specific things. You know, you have those things that you're always like, remember, you know, your parents said, oh,
Of course,
don't eat a bunch before you swim or something stupid like that, whatever. Well, my dad was always like, don't do drugs, you know, go to college, and don't join the military. And I don't know how much
And
of that I listened to.
don't join the military. Oh my god.
I don't know how much of that I listened to. That I'm sorry, I love you. But anyways, yeah,
I don't want to be your psychologist over here or a psychiatrist
Oh, yeah,
or whatever, but do you think like that you were acting in rebellion towards your father?
I still
You know?
am. I still
No,
am. I'm a
but
very
like
rebellious
in that
person.
moment,
Oh,
was
yeah,
that
yeah.
a conscious?
No.
Consciously, or did it? Because I'm trying to figure out, was it more of like an outlet for your boredom, or was it a rebellion against? Like,
No, I think that it was actually the opposite. I think I was trying to show him that he was more afraid than me.
he was more afraid than you.
Yeah, but
Well,
that
you're his kid. Of course, he's gonna be afraid for you. Like,
But
for
you know what I'm trying to say? Like, in other words, like, I think that he knew that I'd be the next Marine.
Oh, okay.
I think that he knew that, but he was afraid to risk it.
Of course, you're his
Yeah,
kid.
yeah.
Man.
I mean, I think that my dad thinks I'm great at everything. I think he loves me, and everything I've done, he's always been like, you're the best, and you fucking can kill it. But whenever I'm about to initiate something, he always gets very questionable. Like, say, for instance, I wanted to pick up a new hobby tomorrow, like skateboarding. He'd be like, I don't know, man. Like, are you sure skateboarding's the thing? You know, he's very, like, hesitant.
Let me ask you something. If usually this
Especially
would be
war.
this would be definitely a question for the end, but I'm curious. You know, I think people would be curious now that you've been in and out of the Marines. If you could say something to your dad about it, like right now on the show, if you could hear this, what would you say to him?
I guess I almost want to say thank you. I almost want to say I say I love you and I thank you for making me really ask myself if I wanted to do it, despite the fact that you said no. Because my father is such a big figure to me that, like I'm saying, I wasn't doing it to rebel against him to make him angry. I'm really rebelling against him. Those aren't my emotions. It was more like, there's a movie, and I don't want to get too off track, but there's a movie, it's called The Patriot, and his son comes back and he goes to war, and his father's very upset about it, because his father loves his kid so much he doesn't want to see him die.
And he knows the risks.
Right, but then his father eventually lets him go and fight in war because he knows that it's what's right as a man, or it's like what should be done. Despite his father's own, like, internal, survival instincts of like, this is my child, he knows that his son is a warrior, and I feel like that's what my dad and I had. Like, he knew who I am, and even though he didn't say it was okay, I knew it was. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I had to do it because he would never let me. It's hard
Yeah.
for me. I mean, let's just face it. Like, my dad was like, you can be a badass Marine and stuff, like, you know, and, like, encourage me and, like, all this other stuff. And how fucking hard would it have been to look at myself in the mirror? It still would have been difficult to be like, dude, I'm about to enlist in the Marine Corps.
Yeah, no matter what, that's
infantry.
hard.
Yeah. And, like, during war, fuck, yeah. I'm not saying that because that's what a lot of people did. A lot of people's parents were like, fuck yeah, you know, I was a Marine, you were a Marine. I don't know. This is the thing. My dad said, do not join the military. And he said he wanted me to join the Coast Guard or the Air Force or some shit. He was okay with that. But I'm talking about, like, to me, no offense, everybody out there, but I'm talking about the Marine Corps. You know what I mean? Like,
So you had to get your mom's signature.
well, yeah, so I had to get someone's permission.
Yeah.
Because I'm not an adult. And you have to be an adult. You have to be 18 or older to enlist in the military. To volunteer, right? Well, so, I don't know how, but my mom said okay. You know, I think it was mostly my recruiter, Joe Pereira. What's up? Anyway, so, that motherfucker, dude, he's cool.
He spoke to your mom.
Oh, yeah, here's another
like,
yeah. So he basically became my, like, not my father. There's only one father in my life. But he became a very big role model to me as far
role
as...
model, guide,
yeah,
someone
that's
that...
right, yeah. I would have graduated high
At an
school.
impressionable age, too, right?
Yeah.
Like,
There's no doubt in my mind I would have dropped out of high school if I wouldn't have listened to the Marine Corps.
wow.
Yeah. Between the partying and the girls
Oh,
and
so
the
even,
bullshit.
so even after you got permission, you still had to finish...
Oh, yeah,
high
that's
school,
the whole
like,
point. That's
yeah.
the whole reason I did finish high school is because
Yeah.
if you don't graduate high school, you don't get to join the Marine Corps.
Mm-hmm.
See, the Marine
Gotcha.
Corps is not like a lot of other branches where you can just do whatever the fuck you want and they'll just pick you up and send you to war. Like, you know, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force and the Marine Corps are the two strictest of the branches. So, Boise, and this is why it's so fun for me because, like I said, I went from this place, Boise, who most people don't even know where Idaho is, right? And they put me in a fucking plane and flew me to San Diego. You know, I didn't know, I'd never been outside of barely anything.
What year was this? When you
2008. They flew me from Boise. I came to San Diego. I was tripping out because I'd never seen anything before. 5-lane highways, people, planes, trains,
Culture
automobiles.
shock,
Yeah,
yeah.
craziness, dude. I'm a cowboy from Idaho. Or at least a country boy. I could show you photos of me, like, I got a cowboy hat with a rattlesnake on it. You know what I mean? Like, I was a freaking normal boy in Idaho. Well, I guess normal, whatever, you know, just a normal country kid, kind of, you know? Then next thing I'm knowing, the yellow footprints and getting some guy's slobber spitting at my face and stuff, you know, and doing the Marine Corps thing. And, you know, you graduate from boot camp if you can make it. And then you go to a course called, or you go to a place called SOI, which is School of Infantry.
School of Infantry, okay.
Well, or MCT, which is the Marine Corps Combat Training. And it's like, basically, if you're MOS, which stands for Military Occupation of Service, I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this shit. I'm forgetting some abbreviations, thank God, it's been a while.
Yeah.
I didn't ever think I would.
For me and the listeners, like, break down the abbreviations, but, you know, you're not the Marine expert. Do your best. Give us the best you can do, yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, so they give you a job. It's called an MOS. It stands for Military Occupation of Service.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so once you've graduated boot camp, whether you're on the East Coast or West Coast, which there's Parris Island on the East Coast and there's MCRD West Coast, like over here, San Diego. Which it's funny because there's rivalry, right? Because everybody who goes through the East Coast boot camp talks shit to the people who went to the West Coast.
And Rachel was in Parris
Island.
Island.
Rachel was in Parris Island.
It's the funny thing,
Yeah, it cracks me up because she's like, it was so much harder, we had bugs and stuff. I'm like, the ground is flat, we have mountains. And you know what sucks more than being, so it's on an island, Parris Island is on an island.
Yeah.
And so they think that sucks because you're isolated from the world. Well, I would beg for that. Because I got to work right next to Disneyland where everyone's having fun. You know how much torture it is? It's like being on a diet and everyone's eating cake and pizza around you. You're like, stop. It sucks. There's planes landing and leaving every day.
You can see your freedom, yeah.
Yeah, you're like, dude, what I would do to be on one of those planes. Anyway, so boot camp. Then you go to, if you're in the infantry, if you have an infantry MOS, you go to the School of Infantry, which is where you start to learn how to, not necessarily be a Marine, because that's what boot camp is. You start to learn how to be an infantry Marine. And then, like Rachel, she went to MCT, which is Marine Corps Combat Training. It's kind of like, I wouldn't say, it's just a lot less intense version of School of Infantry. For instance,
combat training is like or that school of it.
Yeah, right. You know, they teach you a lot of the same, but a lot less in depth.
Okay.
You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So, like, for instance, where
Rachel described to me as like you have to cover more ground. You have a broader scope.
That's right.
So they specialized you. Is that's what you're saying? So what was your specialization?
So at that point,
at that point,
I didn't have a specialization because my contract was what's called a Zulu contract.
Sorry, what was it?
Zulu.
A Zulu contract?
Yeah, so like you get a contract when you join the Marine Corps because it's based on an agreement between you and the United States government.
Yeah.
You know, saying like we own you now, and you have to do this.
They own your life,
or you go to fucking prison. You know what I mean? Or you kick whatever. You know, you're a traitor now if you don't serve. It's voluntary. You know, they don't say you have to join. I don't know. I don't know all the
You sign up for it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it works here in the States.
Yeah. It's just like buying a car, gotta pay your bills.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. Anyway,
So a Zulu contract.
Yeah, Zulu. It's a reconnaissance contract.
Reconnaissance contract?
Yeah, and you only get my state. I think I'm not sure, but you only get a certain amount of them per like fiscal year. You know, and like the recruiters, they like try and find like the top people to go for them because reconnaissance community is the most elite of the Marine Corps' infantry program. So, anyways,
So did you actually get that contract when you were enlisted?
Yeah,
like
cool.
in Idaho. Like
Yeah,
from there, you knew you wanted to do reconnaissance or become a reconnaissance marine. That's the correct term, right?
Yeah. So it's crazy because I've never fucking heard of it before. And to kind of come back to where whatever, bounce back real quick. My best friend at the time, Cody McLaughlin, he's the one who kind of talked me into this shit in the first place because he was 2 years older than me, and he's like, man, let's be fucking Navy SEALs and stuff, and I'm like, all right. You know what I mean? Like, jack weight, blow shit up, and girls and money, and fly around the world. Fuck yeah. I was my own recruiter. I didn't even need a recruiter. I was like, hell yeah, dude. You know? Anyway, so I go down, or he's like, let's go like next Thursday and talk to a recruiter. I'm like, cool. The fucker went like on a day before me, like Wednesday. And he's like, calls me that night. He's like, hey man. He's like, I'm sorry to tell you, dude, but I already enlisted in the Coast Guard. I'm like, what? I'm like, we were supposed to go down and be Navy SEALs and shit. We had this whole plan and stuff. So I'm like, whatever. I kept my appointment. I went down on Thursday. Mm-hmm. Well, I walked in there trying to talk to the Navy or the Air Force because I didn't know shit about the Army or the Marine Corps, but I knew my dad didn't want it, and I was like trying to give myself the opportunity.
And that whole like Navy SEALs thing for you, that was like that was just like the brand or like the name. That
that's all I knew. That's all I knew. It was like Navy SEALs. Those
something from the movies or whatever, like right, like
platoon. And
so when you got into the recruitment office, they're like, all right, kid, listen up. What happened? Like they explained.
Well, so there was no one there except for the Marines. And I'm standing outside the fucking doors of like the Army and the Air Force and the Navy, and this is where Joe Pereira, the freaking recruiter, he's like kind of leaning back in his chair. He's like, "Hey fucker, like what are you doing?" You know, very aggressive, like super projected, very intense, aggressive. Like didn't even give me a chance to breathe, dude. He was just like, "You, what the fuck? You think you're worthy and stuff?" And I loved it. I loved it immediately. Like I knew from the second that he started talking to me that I wanted to be a Marine.
So he explained to you Recon Marine, like in
later.
Okay.
Yeah. So at first he was kind of like, what you want to do.
So let's bring it back to specializations. Like you said that you didn't have one. Because you were on a Zulu contract. Is that
So the Zulu contract doesn't guarantee that you're gonna be a reconnaissance Marine.
Oh, okay.
The Zulu contract guarantees that you get a shot to try out for the team.
Yeah.
And so if you fail, then the Marine Corps gets to do whatever the fuck they want with you. Like usually they keep you in the infantry and they send you to the fleet, which is slang for basically like general Marine Corps infantry. And then from there they will go, okay, we need more machine gunners, or we need a mortarman, or we need a rifleman.
They put you where they need you.
Yeah.
When you went into the recruitment office, what did you weigh?
I remember exactly what I weighed, 162 pounds.
And when you finished infantry school?
Like 143.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean they trim the fat.
Yeah.
And it's not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, all of it.
They trim like
and that's the thing we're talking about here. It's like it only took 5 months, but like that just speaks to how goddamn good the Marine Corps is. Now you go to BRC.
What is that? What does that stand for? BRC?
That's where I got to go, basically in my head, to boot camp all over again, which is crazy, right? Because it's like I thought you just did that. It's like I thought so too, but you go way down like a rabbit hole into a whole nother fucking level of the Marine Corps. You know what I mean?
Well, tell me what is.
Well, okay, so
where how far does the rabbit hole go? Like
I don't know, man. I feel like sometimes I'm still walking down it.
What was it? Is it more specialization, or what? What do they teach?
Oh yeah. So I graduated boot camp, then I graduated SOI, School of Infantry, and then at like basically the last week of the class, what happens is you, based on your contract, get put into different companies, and then you go start working. You know what I mean? Like congratulations, now you're a mortarman, now you're a machine gunner, and you go to the fleet. And I can't really speak to what they do because I didn't go that way.
Talk about what you did. Yeah.
But what happened to me was a guy shows up with a dip in his mouth, and he doesn't look like any other Marine I've ever met, and he doesn't look like he gives a fuck about anything else except for freaking. Frankly, he looked like he was pissed to be there. And he was just like, hey, raise your fucking hand if your name is, like, called. Or stand the fuck up if your name is called, And he starts calling names. And, of course, my last name's Alvord, which is funny as fuck because everything in life I'm always first, So it sucks because it's like, all right, you're going to do this. And I'm like, God damn, I have to be the first one. Anyways, which is cool.
My last name is Yekutiel. I'm always last.
Okay, there you go. Which kind of sucks, but sometimes it can be good. If it's like, hey, who's going to eat first? I'm like, fuck yeah. But if it's like, who's going to get punched in the face first? I'm like, damn it. Anyways, but yeah, so, stand the fuck up and stuff like that, and they're like, oh, my name's, I can't remember the name of him, but he's like, my name's so-and-so, and I'm fucking instructor the basic reconnaissance course. All you shitheads follow me.
Basic reconnaissance course. That's
BRC.
The BRC.
It used to be called ARS, which is the Amphibious Reconnaissance School.
Okay, so all you shitheads follow me.
Something like that, yeah.
And then
you ran. We ran, dude. I'm not even
that's
fucking
the first
around.
day of school.
Yeah, the very first,
The
within
course.
10 minutes, dude, he's like, all you fuckers, stand up, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
He's like, get the hell over here, and we ran. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
if the Marine Corps is the tip of the United States military spear, the reconnaissance community would be the very tip of that.
The tip of the spear's tip.
You're the tip of the tip, dude. You are the very first thing to fucking hit anything. And that's important as far as, like, the fact that it's not necessarily about engaging the enemy, not our job. In fact, just having this conversation, there's a point in my life where I was instructed basically not to talk about stuff like this. Not because it was secret, like in a way of like, like top secret special forces.
And just to be clear, like, we were talking just a little bit before the show, but you said, like, there's no top secret clearance that you have, so you don't have to worry about anything as far as that's concerned. Like, just as a disclaimer.
No, you guys, whatever. If I'm fine. Like, I'm not gonna tell you guys anything.
Yeah, legally, we're cool to talk about this.
Yeah, it's not really. I'm not really telling you anything you don't know. I'm just kind of making it make sense and like kind of putting some clarity out there. Like, there's no secrets.
For me and for them, dude. Cool. Everyone wants to know this kind of stuff. It's super interesting.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is,
tip of the tip, right?
Yeah.
And you're not always engaging.
No, yeah. Well, you're always engaging the enemy, but it's not necessarily the fact like the typical Marine, or like the typical infantry is like firing and things like that. Offense. And let's just make this clear: the Marine Corps is not a defensive military. That's what the Army and like a lot of other duties are. The United States Marine Corps is to take the fight to the enemy. Mm-hmm. Right? We don't sit around and just wait for you to come fuck us up. We go kill you. You know what I mean? Like.
And isn't that how the Marine Corps got started in the first place? Isn't that the first?
Yeah. So basically, the Navy needed. Marines. They needed
we didn't have
mariners. They needed to hire people that
to fight
when they finally got to a country or got to a place, they could get off the boat and fuck people up. You know what I mean? And like that's where the leatherneck comes from, is that they would wear thick pieces of leather around their neck so that when swords were swung on them, they wouldn't cut their fucking heads off and stuff, or like there's a lot of history in the Marine Corps that's really badass, but basically it's we're coming after you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So don't mess with the United States Marine Corps.
And then more courses, or do they send you to war?
Well, so the basic reconnaissance course is, like I said, it's like boot camp, but for you as a reconnaissance Marine.
Yeah, you said you felt like you started over.
Oh yeah,
on a different plateau.
It was crazy. It wasn't anything like I expected. Like I thought it was going to be like all this like high speed shit, like jumping out of planes and like this is how we shoot laser beams and like all this other stuff. It wasn't at all. It was literally like, remember we were talking earlier like about like how they like reinvent you.
They reinvent you, yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. They like whatever I had left in me from boot camp or SOI was about to be pulled the fuck out of me. And, like,
oh no.
Yeah, and like not in the sense of like we're gonna make you a robot. In fact, it was the opposite. It made me just hard as freaking nails, dude. Like, when I graduated BRC, there wasn't a fucking like fireworks show and like all these honors and everything like that. It was literally a guy who was probably saltier than the desert, standing in front of my family and friends, and he basically pointed to 17 out of like 100 people or whatever who had fucking done this. And these are Marines, man.
Yeah.
These aren't like, just average Joes who are like, oh, I fucking want to try out for football. Out of 100 people, or let's just call it 100, like 17 dudes made it. Wow. And we're not talking about like, this is funny, man. Like they taught us a lot. They instructed us a lot. But really what they taught us is that fucking life is hard, but you gotta be harder, dude. And like, if you want to be here, fucking show me. And like the idea is that if you can survive BRC, then you can fucking do anything. Mm-hmm. Prove to me that you will fucking die to complete the mission. That you like literally, if I tell you to hold your breath underneath the water with a bomb, that you're gonna hold it until it blows up. Show me your discipline, like fucking go, and don't whine about it. Like it. And when you leave a school with that kind of mentality, you're like, I'll punch a tornado, dude.
Yeah, you can do whatever.
Yeah.
That's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
What did you weigh when you got out of that?
I don't remember, but I'll tell you when I got home, two things I remember very distinctly: how shocked people were looking at me, my body weight, and like how lean I was. I mean, dude, I was probably like 132 pounds. What it looked like.
How tall are you? You're
5'7", 5'6".
132 pounds.
Depending on which story I'm telling.
Yeah, right. But wow, yeah. So when you got back, like people were looking at you, and then what was the other thing?
Oh, my hands, man. Dude,
they must have been so rough.
That's right, dude. I never really, I'm too busy worrying about whether or not I'm, about to get like slayed, or freaking too busy slaying, in this fucking course, to pay attention to myself, really. You know what I mean? Like, my feet are falling apart, my hands are smashed. I'm like, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you, you know what I mean?
It's just a shell for you at
yeah,
that point,
like,
right?
I'm just trying to fucking move, dude,
Yeah.
and, like, freaking, yeah, anyway, so, but when I finally had that time to relax, I remember sitting in David Weld, one of my high school homies, friends, he's in the Navy now, too. I talked his ass in the Marine Corps, or not the Navy, finally. He wouldn't listen to me for, like, 3 years, he's finally in now, what's up? Anyway, so, I was sitting in his room, I remember, and I looked down, like, I can't remember what I was doing, like, watching TV or something like that, and I, like, fucking was picking, like, a freaking scab or something off my knuckle, and I looked down, I remember looking at my fucking hands, dude, it looked like, just, like, brutally, like, baseball missed tan, and scars, and, like, you know, fuck, I was like, holy shit, dude.
Only when you're bored do you look at your hands.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff, you know what I mean? You're like, huh, like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
Yeah. Now I go and get my freaking nails buffed, and I'm like, what's up?
Where do they send you next?
Oh, yeah, it's funny, too. Yeah, so, Okie, man. I was a freshman. You know what I mean? I was like, they made it. And I thought it was cool, you know. I showed up, like I said, I wanted to punch tornadoes and bite sharks and stuff, you know what I mean? Like, I was ready to fucking kill shit. I was excited.
In those 4 years, where did they send you that you can talk about, you know, like... I guess on a macro scale, just, you know, big picture. You
Okay,
know,
so
we don't have to go beat by beat, but just, you know, give me the...
Yeah, basically the Asian Pacific, South America, you know, like the typical places. And honestly, like, my two favorite places were the Philippines and Peru. Like, I got to go to, like, on Muse and, like, you know, UDPs and, you know, cool, fucking awesome places, man. Like, Philippines, Taiwan, Guam, Argentina, you know, things like that, you know, like, one of my examples would be the 31st MEU, which the MEU stands for Marine Expeditionary Unit. And what that is it's a group of ships, like, destroyers, battleships, aircraft carriers, submarines, like, a fucking ton of freaking America floating around out in the ocean, right?
A lot of freedom.
Yeah, a lot of fucking US of A rolling around. Yeah.
Right there.
Oh, dude, it's crazy, man. I don't know if you've ever seen like a ship, like, in person, like an actual aircraft carrier.
I have,
like that.
yeah.
Dude, it's fucking, like, I'm just telling you, dude, if that shit pulled up in front of my country and I was on their side, I'd be freaking out.
Yeah.
I mean, you got planes, it's nuts. I mean, tanks and shit, it's crazy. Anyways,
Yeah, I was on the Essex.
and that's the name of the ship that I was on.
Gotcha.
It's kind of cool. It's like a mini aircraft carrier. And I was over at 3rd Recon Battalion, which I think was the coolest fucking place in the world, dude. I don't want to be all, like, cheesy and stuff, but, like, I learned...
Cheese away, my friend.
I learned to let go of, like, what is home, you know, or, like, what do I need? You know, when you fucking live out of a bag, you know, a sea bag or a backpack, and you sleep on the ground, you have to shit in bags and pack it out with you so the enemy doesn't know you're there. You start to really think, like, what the fuck do I need in life, like, if this is okay with me? Everything to me is temporary. Like, for a moment, I'm like, it's like eating food. You ever have too much on your plate, and you're like, shit, I got too much, you know? And you stop eating? That's kind of like, I have something for a moment, I enjoy it, and let it go. I'm not so, like, freaking clingy and hold on to shit. Like, you got people who have everything in their house and stuff, and they're like, they think that they love it, but do you? I could break everything in my house right now and get over it. You know what I mean? I feel like people are always constantly considering too much and overthinking, and should I say this, and should I do... I don't fucking know, man. Do you? You haven't done it yet, so neither one of us know what the hell you want. Like, maybe I slipped up and said something that might have offended someone, I'm sorry. But if I didn't say it, then what am I doing? I'm robbing myself from my freaking self. I need to learn.
From your own expression.
There you
right?
go. Yeah, living. You know, like, there's a saying that, you know, it's guaranteed in life that everyone dies, but it's not guaranteed in life that everyone lives.
It's also guaranteed in life that you pay taxes. That too.
Exactly.
You're forgetting about the other guarantee.
Yeah. But anyways, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I'm just trying to live, man. Like, and maybe that's another thing that I meant to tell you is that death is real. You know, being in the Marine Corps taught me that people fucking die. You know, and what you're living for is what matters. The very first time that I considered the fact that I was actually really involved in something that may or may not cost me my life was the very first time I got told I was going on a deployment. Because, to tell you the truth, man, all I was doing was proving to be a recon Marine up until the moment that they said, good, I'm glad you're good at this, because we need you.
When was that?
2009 on, and it's like not that big of a deal, but the 31st MEU. You know, it's like, yeah, it was it guaranteed I'm going to war? Fuck no, dude. In fact, I was way away from it, really, honestly. Afghanistan and Iraq were way over there. But that didn't mean that it wasn't game time, you know? It's kind of like, what I'm saying is, like, at any moment, we could be used to fucking invade Korea, or we could get, who knows, you know? But the point is that we were actually working. It was not training.
Yeah.
You know, even though we went over there and did a lot of training exercises, it was like, you're for sure in the moment now, you know? And what I'm saying is, like, I had
in that moment, like you felt.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit! So wait a second, like this is actually going to go down. And then it happened again when I went on my J Soda P deployment. The J Soda P deployment got to me.
What is that?
J Soda P. This is it's an acronym. Fucking military. Anyways,
tell us what it means.
J Soda P. J Soda stands for Joint Special Operations Task Force, and the P stands for Philippines.
Gotcha.
The designation of where you're working. That was that was my favorite deployment. That and the Peruvian deployment were my two favorite deployments, and that one really was like, okay, I'm going to a place where nobody knows to do shit that nobody's gonna know about, and there's for sure fucking violence. And I'm like, okay, it's on. Like that was another moment. I'm like, whoa. But between those times, I had friends who were going to Afghanistan and Iraq. Listen, man, I don't know how people get picked or whatever. I wasn't the guy in charge. But it wasn't like I didn't raise my hand to go fucking kill people in Afghanistan and Iraq. It's just that's not what I got chosen.
That wasn't your job.
That wasn't it, yeah. It was like they lined us up and like, you're going to Afghanistan, you're going to Iraq, you're going to the Philippines. And at the beginning, I thought it was bullshit. I was like, what? I want to go to war, I want to kill bad guys and blah, 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 right? Now I look at it like it was the coolest fucking thing ever. I'm so grateful. Because meanwhile...
You're grateful you didn't go and you got to do what your job was.
I would have done it today. If they asked me to go today, I would go. And I would have done it then. It's just, I thought then that I was getting robbed from my military experience. You know, you're like, you joined the Marine Corps during fucking war and you're going to go to war. But I didn't end up going to fucking Afghanistan and Iraq at all. I ended up going to places that people hadn't even heard of. And I still did cool shit. Like, I still went down there and engaged with freaking people and taught them combat and all sort of shit. Just like a lot of people were doing in Afghanistan and Iraq. I was just doing it in a different place.
Gotcha.
And back then I thought that was like stupid, like, I guess like whatever. Now I look at it and I'm like, that's fucking badass, man. Not only did I not have to worry about getting my ass blown into pieces or fucking live in the desert and also the shit that you hear about, the horrible, horrible things. I'm very lucky, man. I went to like 16 different countries and ate different food, and dude, I had girlfriends in different countries, you know, and drank and taught people how to blow shit up and freaking, jump out of planes, all this other cool stuff, you know. It was way cooler than I thought it was going to be. And now I look back and I'm like, fuck yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, dude. I'm bummed I'm out. That's one of the problems is that I never wanted to get out of the Marine Corps.
You never wanted to get
out? No. So just so everybody knows, I'm nearly blind in my right eye from an infection that I got during my service, which sounds so stupid, right? Because you have these guys who like have their arms blown off and shit like that, and I'm like over here like, oh, I went and partied in the jungle and I got an eye and I'm out.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, and it sucks, right? Because it's like, I don't want people to think that. I want people to think like, oh, you just...
Well, set the record straight.
So what it is like, yeah, I got an infection in my eye and freaking, it basically ate apart my freaking cornea.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I'm sitting here like tripping out like, dude, what the hell? I'm losing my sight. You guys are telling me I have pink eye? Like, this isn't a pink eye. And I finally got to see a specialist and finally know what it is and finally been treating me, and they want to cut my fucking cornea out and replace it with another one, but they're like 80% sure that I'm either going to see the same or less. I'm like, what the hell's the point? You know what I mean? And
this is 2012 at this point? Like,
yeah.
You were out by 2013, but you got the infection and like all this.
Oh, I got the infection way back, dude. Like, shit, 2010.
What?
Yeah.
And you were still in for another 3 years.
Yeah, that's a funny thing too. Like, I couldn't see it in my right eye.
This story sounds like the end of your military career, man. And that's your shooting eye, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, that's the thing is they teach you how to shoot with both your eyes open, and like, look, man, like when you want to be in the Marine Corps and you want to be a Recon Marine as bad as I wanted to be, I don't give a fuck what you tell me, dude. I'm gonna do it. You know, like if you tell me like I can't do it, that's all they've been telling me. You're not good enough. You're not good enough. You're not good enough. So for them to be like, hey, by the way, you can't see your right eye. You're not good enough. I'm like, okay, add that to the pile of fucking shit I'm not listening to. You know, like, what's next? You just make me stronger? I'm pissed that they kicked me out, but I get why they did, because you look at it like business. Like, why would they have a Marine with one eye? They can have a Marine with two.
Explain that to me. So you got it in 2010. But you were still going out.
I was in Okinawa when I had it. I can't remember exactly the dates, but yes, I was still deploying.
You were still deploying, like, Kabul was
everyone knew too. Like, Red only has one eye. This fucker, you know what I mean? Like,
keep him in the back of the line.
But I still did my job. I was still fucking able. See, and that's the thing. That's what's cool about the brotherhood that I had, the reconnaissance community. They didn't give a fuck about how tall you are, what color you were, or anything like that, man. They gave a shit about one thing: can you do your job? That's it. And I did. But the problem is that when I rotated from third to first, the secret was out. See, it was kind of like an in-house thing.
Secret,
yeah. Third Recon Battalion, which by the way is the fucking best. Just so everybody knows, third is like where the pipe hitters are. Because you got to think about it, like here in Cali, everyone has a girlfriend and they get to fucking have a truck and babies. And Okie, bro, you fucking do work and then you party your brains out. It's like being in a frat house for like Satan's children, you know what I mean? Like, you go there and fuck shit up. Oh, by the way, we took this rock from fucking Japan, dude. I mean, the very place, 3rd Recon Battalion, that is where the Reconnaissance Marines invaded Okinawa, Japan. How fucking badass is that? Yeah. So you're like walking around thinking like, dude, what the fuck? This is where Recon Marines went to war.
What is it, 70 years? 60, 70
yes,
years?
You know what I mean? Like, they killed people right where I stood. There was blood spilled on this fucking land where this is our rock. You know what I mean? Like, fuck you.
So it's hardcore.
Yeah, dude.
But then you went over to 1st.
Yeah, and then you come to 1st and they're like, oh, hey, what's up? Well, I'm not trying to talk shit that much. You know what I mean? Like,
no, but
first gets down. Just wasn't my
you got to 1st and then the secret was out.
Oh, yeah, so what happened was I got here, and I checked in, and, hey, dude, you stick out like a sore thumb from being from 3rd, too, because you're just all work, and they're like, fucking, why do you look so different? You're like, because I'm from 3rd, bitch. Anyway, so, yeah, you do a freaking, like, medical, like, evaluation, right? You know, physical and shit. And they're like, oh, read these lines. I'm like,
oh, no.
I'm like, EW5, you know what I mean? Like, I can't fucking read that, you know? And so, like, what's up? I'm like, oh, you know, I'm just kind of whatever, like, blind. And they're like, what?
Uh-huh.
You fucking can't see out of your right eye? They're like, no, dude, you can't fucking deploy. I'm like, what? Come on, dude, I deployed in Oki. I deployed with 3rd. You know, fuck it. I'll do a PFT.
You deploy with the best of the best, and they're like, and now they're like, dude, you can't go do the thing you've been doing for the past however long.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, come on, bro, for real. Like, I have no negative evals. I'm a fucking stud. I run, I jump, I swim. Like, send me to some fucking schools. Let's do this shit. That's another thing too. In Oki, you don't go to schools really. Like, you just train and train and train and train and train and train on just like the basics of the recon, like the meat and potatoes, like patrolling and observing and reporting. Anyway, so. I was ready to go, dude. I'm like, fuck, I want to go to SEER school, I want to go to boot camp, or I'm like, I want to go to jump, I want to go to dive, I want to go to sniper, and they're like, nah, can't. I'm like, why? They're like, you can't see out of your fucking red eye, dude. I'm like, whoa, what? They're like, yeah, you're done. Like, I'm like, whoa, I'm done.
No way.
Yeah, and then next thing you know, I'm freaking...
Not that day, dude. No way.
No. I'm just kind of, you know...
God forbid, like, that day they fucking
kick
you out, dude.
No, that would be crazy, dude. No, nothing in the Marine Corps happens that fast, except for...
too much bureaucracy involved, man.
Are you kidding me? They're efficient at fucking making you, you know... a Marine, but they sure as fuck aren't, you know,
paperwork and shit.
Yeah, no way, dude. It takes... There's so many jokes I could get into, you know, as far as, like, you know, he said this, and then this, and then this. It's like telephone, you know. By the time you get there, it's like a whole different story. But anyways,
So you got the diagnosis, or their diagnosis.
Yeah.
Then they go through the paperwork.
Yeah.
And then what was you remember the date you got out?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, October 1st of 2013. But this is the thing is, Dude, here's the thing. When I went from 3rd to 1st, I totally started changing.
Totally started changing?
Yeah, I started changing again.
So?
I was depressed, I was angry, I was getting in fights, I fucking drank, and I was just being a shithead. But that's because the only thing I wanted to do was be a recon Marine. I mean, since I was a fucking kid, you can ask my parents, like, all I did was play army guy and build forts and hunt and fish and, like, all that stuff. I knew since I was a kid that I was going to be a freaking warrior or whatever.
So was it like you came back here and you were, like, lashing out? I
was pissed that the only family I had left in my life didn't want me. You know, they were fucking kicking me off the football team. I'm like, dude, I did everything to be here, man. I'm not good enough now because I can't see. I'm like, I can still fucking catch the ball. You know, they're like, yeah, but you know what, man? Like, it's just business.
It's like a technicality, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like I wore the wrong jersey or something stupid. You're like, I didn't wear my chin strap.
In the end of the day, it's like, I guess the way they have to see it is, you know, like they want the best of the best, and like what is it, like the liability of having someone who's like injured on being on the tip of the tip. Yeah. Right. That's the only way I could rationalize.
That's a good
that kind of thing,
that's
right?
a good way to rationalize it, man. Yeah. I mean, if you got a guy with one fucking eye trying to clear rooms or who knows what, you know what I mean?
Do you want a buddy with a bad eye, like on, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
I know you were.
If he can do his job, yeah.
I know you like you said, you were out there, you did your thing.
The real answer is that there is factual evidence that at some point I may fail at my job because of a disability. And that is
there's a probability, right?
There you go.
There's a probability for it.
And the Marine Corps is like, we don't want to risk that.
Were you here in Oceanside at that when you got back?
Yeah. This is right when me and Rachel met.
You guys met around the time that you came home.
Yeah, Rachel's funny too. I love her so much. Like, her story and our story is like, I don't know, man. Like, as much as I am proud of the Marine Corps and my experience and stuff, her and I being a part of it, like, I'm so proud of her. Like, she's honestly, like, her and Allie, like, one of her girlfriends who's here all the time. Like, people don't give enough credit to the female Marines in this world, man. Like, you gotta realize, like, as badass, or as, like, hard as my days were as a recon Marine, I was still a fucking man. First, physically I'm built for it. Secondly, it's a man's world. You know what I mean? You know, she's proving herself every single second of the day that she's allowed to be here and that she can do it and all that stuff. And I've never not been proud of her for it. I love her. And I got to pin her. And that means, like, I got to put my rank, or her rank on her, you know? And she will ask for that. That's awesome, dude. Like, as a female Marine, her being around the reconnaissance community, it's one of the reasons I admired her, because instead of her being intimidated by these badass recon Marines, which by no means, like, you know, were anything really that fucking special or whatever.
But she can hang.
She did hang.
Yeah.
The whole reason, just so you know, the whole reason she's out is halfway because of me. Because she got hurt.
She told her story on
yeah.
I think what's going to happen is that her episode is going to come out before yours.
Oh, so I don't want to spoil it, yeah? Or what?
She already spoiled it. The episode will come out before your episode.
Okay, cool.
So she talked about, she got, you know, you guys were working out and getting in shape together.
Yeah,
and,
she's like, I want to fucking hang with these.
Her body, like, wasn't, like, able to keep up with, like, the kind of, like...
Well, I don't expect anybody to keep up with this.
Well, it's not about keeping up, but it's not in a competition kind of way. I mean, like,
Yeah.
you guys were pushing yourselves really fucking hard, and, like,
Yeah.
whatever chemical imbalance that, you know, she did, it, like, ended up hurting her. Like,
That's
it
right.
had a
It
reverse
scared me,
effect.
man. It scared me a lot.
Yeah, from the way she talked about it scared her, too. Like I said, if y'all are just tuning in, if there's your first time listening to the Disconnection podcast, check out our episode with Rachel Alvord.
It's my girl.
What was your first job out of the Marines?
Harley.
Harley?
Yeah, I worked for
Tell me about
San
that.
Diego Harley. Well, I was basically, I was unemployed, you know, I was just milking that unemployment thing for a minute, just trying to fucking breathe like a normal person, but I'm not, and I never will be, not just because I'm in Marine Corps, but just because who I am. And Rachel basically told me to get a job, you know, she was like, look dude, like, you've been out for 2 months or whatever now, and like, she did the same thing, she got it before me. You know, she was unemployed and I was still in the Marine Corps. I went to fucking Peru when she was a civilian in college, you know, which is another trip, because like, she and I were both Marines, and now we're both civilians, but there was a point where she was a civilian and I was a Marine still. So
Yeah, that's weird.
So I'm like, what the fuck are you going through? You know, like, you're a civilian. She knew what I was going through because I was a Marine, and she was a Marine, but there was like a thing, you know.
You didn't know what she was going through.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck, you're out, like, crazy. I'm still in, you know, whatever, and now then we're out together, whatever. So,
So you started working at Harley?
So I started working at Harley. She got me a job. She's like, hey, she works at San Diego Harley. A girlfriend of ours, Jessica, worked there. She was like a motor clothes manager. Rachel needed a job, right? She was a civilian, and Jessica was like, hey, we're hiring. So she got a job down there. Then, you know, for the future, I got out, and she was like, hey, you should work at Harley, because that's what I did. I'm like, cool. And I went down there and started working for Harley. And I've been working for Harley.
Did you ever own a Harley or were interested in bikes before that? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of the ironic part, is that I got a bike almost within 8-9 months of me being in America. From my duty station in Okinawa, I got a bike.
Wow.
And I was riding, you know, just doing my thing or whatever, you know, I never thought I was going to work for fucking Harley.
Are you in a club?
Yeah, I'm in a 3-piece Outlaw Motorcycle Club right here, the Asphalt Cowboys.
You're looking for the...
What's up?
Yeah.
Oh,
You want to give a shout out to your boys?
What's up, Cowboys?
Nice.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's fun, man.
After this, you got to take me around the block, dude. I can't wait.
Oh, for sure.
Wait
Yeah,
to see
yeah,
your motorcycle, man.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's just like another one of those things, man. I guess I kind of, I feel like I'm always like really like my own self, very independent, you know. But I love being a part of things, you know, like a group or a family or a brotherhood or whatever else. And I think,
what does your club do? What do you guys do other than just ride around?
Yeah, well, you know, what we do is we support each other, we love each other, and you know, we ask for what's best in each other. Like, there's a saying in our club, you know, that the patch is only as hard, the cut is only as strong as the cowboy who wears it, you know, because just like the uniform, man, anybody can put one on, but like, how fucking good are you as a Marine? You know, how good are you as a freaking cowboy? And, you know, we have also another saying in our club is called Outlaw Country Gentleman, you know, which is, I have a tattoo on my arm that says OCG. And what that means is, like, when you watch these old country movies, you know, where there's the bad guys, right? I always admired the ones who were, like, the nicest dressed and the most polite, and, you know, it's like that cool bad guy, you know, like...
The gentleman bad guy.
Yes, exactly, you know what I mean?
The anti-hero.
There you go, yeah, the Spawn, or the Batman, or the, you know, what's that new movie, Daredevil, or... Deadpool, there you go, perfect,
Anti-hero,
Deadpool.
yeah.
An anti-hero.
Everyone loves an anti-hero.
Yeah, and I always have
Punisher,
too.
one of the greatest
Punisher,
anti-heroes ever.
Perfect. That's exactly what our club inspires to do. I'm not telling you that I follow the law, or that I don't drink, or that I haven't used drugs, or that I haven't, you know, whatever. I'm, you know, whatever you want to call me, a criminal, a bad guy, blah, 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 whatever. I call myself American, you know what I mean? I'm fucking living, so fuck you and your judgment, or whatever, you know?
Well, that's interesting. How does like a anti-hero club, do you guys like interact with the community? Like, how does
Sure. Yeah, when we have businesses that give back to communities, whether it's, you know, barbershops, and, you know, me, fuck, I work for Harley. How much more of a community person am I?
Mm-hmm.
I sell Harleys. I mean, I'd meet hundreds of people a month and get them either into riding for the first time or onto their next bike.
look, I don't know much about bikes, but
yeah.
tell our audience, what do you ride? What's like your
I
baby?
ride a 2018 Road Glide Special, bitches, all black, murdered out. What's up?
Nice.
Yeah, it's basically a fucking Corvette on two wheels. It's
Gotcha.
insane.
I cannot wait to get out there.
It's insane, dude. Like, I didn't ever think that I'd own anything that badass. You know what I mean? Like that cool. It's fuck, dude. It's wild.
So now you're learning to survive in sales.
Oh god,
As a salesman.
That's a good way to say it, dude.
Yeah,
like survive.
I mean, like that's crazy. The Marine Corps just like got you like so like ready for anything. And do you feel normal? Do you feel like you're
no?
No.
No, I think I'm about to feel normal. I think
How so?
Because I think that I'm waiting for my, my next transition, and that's gonna be like, when I finally have like my own business and I live in Idaho or somewhere that's mine, and like I'm ready to kind of separate myself from everything that I've done for the last life. Like I'm ready to finally like break out of my shell and only worry about myself with Rachel. You know, I'm not talking about like not being in love.
You as in
I'm ready to
together.
I'm ready to blow up. Like I'm ready to.
Well, tell me about the business. Like you said, you might want to start your own business.
Yeah, like through my like kind of here to bounce off that. You know, when I said I got out of the Marine Corps and I didn't want to be and I didn't know what to do. I'm telling you right now, man. Like, I still don't really know. You know, that was what I was gonna. I thought I'd die. You know, I thought I'd be dead by now. I didn't know that I was gonna fucking have to come up with Plan B and reinvent myself. And by the way, I can't just be a fucking fireman or a cop, like an easy just transition, because I'm biting my right eye. So I've had to reinvent myself, you know, and whatever, fine, fuck it, again, throw it onto a pile of shit that I don't care about, you know what I mean? It's just making me harder. But the cool thing is that now I'm ready to do something with everything that I've been putting together, you know, whether it's my family growing up, or the Marine Corps, and my relationship with Rachel, and seeing the world, and sales, and like, all this stuff's coming together now, and it's about to be fucking rad. Like, I've decided that what captivates me is food. You know?
Food.
Yeah, and like comedy, and like people, and like all sorts of stuff. You know what I'm trying to say? It's coming together, and like I fucking feel like I'm about to find out what it is, and I'm very anxious because.
That's a good thing. That's exciting.
Yeah, excited, but I don't even know what it is. It's like there's fucking presents underneath the tree, dude, and tomorrow morning is Christmas. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to figure out where it is that I'm at with it at that time. But fuck, dude, I'm gonna hit this shit hard, like Sammy Sosa and fucking. And
so you want to do culinary, right? That's like,
well, yeah.
You want to open a restaurant or something?
Yeah, exactly, dude. Like I would love to be a butcher, like a deli, or like a cool cafe, like something where I'm around the shit that I like food. And
you're gonna be in the back.
Family.
You want to be in the back,
no,
like handling the meats, or you want to?
Yeah, I want to do it all. I want to be in my spot. I want to own it. You know, I want to be like. Like a barber shop, you know, like I'm a barber, but it's my shop.
Yeah.
You know?
You come in, you're like, hey,
that's it. Yeah, that's what I want. I want that shit.
You walk into the kitchen,
that's
say
it.
what's up to everyone. You also do the bills.
That's it. I do it all, man. It's my spot. People come into my house. I'm like, what's up, baby? How you doing? You know what I mean? Like, what do you need from me? Like,
speaking of leaving everything behind, is that here in California, or you're trying to get out? Like,
nah, dude, that's not here in California.
That's not gonna
San
be
Diego is kind of like Disneyland, or like, you know, Pinocchio, or like, what do you call that? That movie, Peter Pan, man. You never grew up. It's good, man. If you want to dip your foot into the youth, or like, you know, get into a bunch of stuff or whatever you want to do, come to San Diego, man. The weather's perfect. The people are beautiful. You want to find out whether or not you got what it takes. Come to LA. Come to San Diego. You think you got a fucking song? Come play it out here, dude. Because guess what? Everyone else is here playing songs. Everyone else here is freaking trying to get in shape. The competition is real, but it's also rap. It's fucking expensive too, man. You can't just fucking have a job here. You have to have 2. You have to have 5 roommates. You have to be good at what you do, or you have to get the fuck out. It's like, dude, but it's also fun, you know? It's beautiful weather, beautiful food, tacos, and fucking sushi, and sand, and beautiful women, and blah, 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 you know, riding a motorcycle and stuff, so it's like, damn. But...
That's work hard, play hard, right?
Yeah, that's it, yeah. But I'm done. I have used up what I needed, or I got what I needed out of this place. Me and Rachel want to go do something. Rachel's fucking killing it, man. She's turning into a freaking rock star. I love her. She's kick-ass. But I think that she wants to have a family. I think that I want to have a family. I think that I want to have my space and she wants to have her space, and we want to do our thing. Like, we're ready to close the book on this shit and go do something else and get away from, you know, just the rat race of freaking...
Different lifestyle.
Yeah. I'm ready to slow down a little bit, but not like slow down in a way of just like, die. Slow down in a way where it's like, get rid of everything but just me and you know, and just do us.
That's brave, man. I think that's very brave to be able to let go and start anew, and keep an open mind to really see where it'll take you. Yeah. Cool, man.
I hope I made sense.
That's really cool.
I ramble. And
let's wrap this up with a little advice. Like, what's some advice you would give to someone who's let's make it a 2-parter, right?
All right.
What's some advice you would give to someone who's going into the Marine Corps, specifically the Marines?
Like a young man or woman?
A young man or woman.
Some advice for them?
Yeah, what's some advice you would give to someone who's going into it?
I would say 2 things to that, or 2 pieces of advice for someone going into the Marine Corps. And the first one is do your fucking job the best you can. And enjoy it. Like, fucking get in there. I don't give a fuck what anybody says, dude, about, like, oh, you're all moto, or, like, you're this, you're that. Fuck them, dude. Tell them to go join a different branch. Because if you're joining the Marine Corps, you had better be a bad motherfucker. Do it all, and be the best. And fucking stomp the lights out of anybody who tries to infect you with their disgusting fucking idea of, like, let's just be mediocre. Fuck you. That'd be my advice. Kill shit. And then my second piece of advice is get ready for your transition. Because when you do get out, if you live, that's the hardest part. Joining the Marine Corps...
Getting ready for your transition after.
Yeah. In other words, like...
So you prep, you start for that?
There you go, yeah.
You start doing that as soon as you start with the Marines. Like, you...
Keep your head in the fucking game, dude, for sure. But just know that one day when you get out, you have to fucking start the game all over again, called being a civilian. And that, for me, was harder than being a Marine. You know? So don't fucking slack and wait till the last day to be like, I don't know if I want to be a truck driver, or maybe I should go to school. Dude, take advantage of the fact that they have college in the Marine Corps. Fuck using your GI Bill. Do it while you're in. Think about, do I want to be a cop? Do I want to fucking be a chef? Do I want to blah, blah, blah? Don't forget about yourself. Because people get in the Marine Corps and then they're just Marines. And then what happens is you get out and you're like, fuck, I don't know who I am. You know? Keep your hand, you know, 2 fucking, what do you call it? 2 knives in the fire, whatever, you know, 2 hands in the fire, you know? Fucking think about who you are, not just what you're told to be.
Gotcha. Cool. Yeah. And what's some advice you would give to someone who's looking to join like a motorcycle club or like or trying to like get into like Harleys and riding and everything like that?
Well, if you're looking to freaking get into Harley Davidsons, I'll tell you that it's, you know, I think everybody should own a motorbike. I think everyone should own a motorbike. Yeah, everybody should, well, at least once. I'm not saying you should have one forever, but it's kind of like
experience.
Yeah, dude. I mean, fuck. For me, it's a lifestyle because I really like it. But, you know, I've tried a lot of different things in life that weren't me.
So what's some like advice for someone who's getting into it, who wants to get into it? Like,
don't give a fuck about what everybody says to do to your bike. You know, like this like judgment stuff is, I guess, what I'm trying to say. Like a lot of people are like, oh, like would have done this differently with your bike and stuff like that. First of all, dude, where's your bike? You know, like worry about your shit. You know, I tie my shoes this way because they're attached to my feet. Fucking leave me alone. And then you know, don't feel obligated to join anything. Like, you're already a part of a culture. You already own a bike. You already whatever, you know. If you don't want to be a fucking part of a club, don't be a part of a club. You know, if you want to be a part of a club, be a part of a club. But just ask yourself, you know, what are you getting out of it? Everything in life is an investment. You know, what's your return? Are you getting anything out of this bike? Is it just getting there on time? Great, fine. That's all you need. That's all you need. You know, but I know a lot of people who are hanging out with people or doing certain things or whatever else, and they're just doing it because they don't have anything better to do. It's a waste of fucking time.
Gotcha. So do it for yourself and don't give a fuck what anyone thinks.
Yeah, and ride safe, please. Be careful out there.
Yeah. Cool.
Or as I say, speed safely.
Cool. If people want to reach out to you, I mean, you're working at Harley.
Yeah, for now.
Come talk to you about buying a bike, right?
That's it. Yeah, stop by Biggs Harley Davidson in San Marcos, California.
And keep an eye out for a restaurant or a deli or some shit.
Something's coming down, dude. I'm telling you. I don't know, like Matthew Madison. You know this. I think I said his name right. He's a huge inspiration to me right now. So is Anthony Bourdain and
rest in peace.
Rest in peace, bro. Huge inspiration to me, man. That fucking killed when I found that out. You know. But those people, dude, they're fucking artists, and they're inspiring me, man. They are talking to people and reaching out to people, but they're doing it with food and fun and comedy, and it's just I'm captivated by it, you know. So look out for me, man. I'm coming. I don't know if it's. I used to think I was gonna be a comedian or like some kind of fucking whatever, you know. But like now I'm like, wait, I can be funny. I can be funny behind the camera with a fucking like a pan full of cacio e pepe. I'm like, watch out. I'm like, that's cool, man. That's fucking cool. Cooking steak and freaking, you know, making people laugh. Having a good time. I want people to be happy.
Cool. Alright guys, thank you so much for listening to the Disconnection Podcast. I've been your host for today. My name is Ori Yekutiel. We are in beautiful Oceanside, California, in San Diego County. My guest today has been Rhett Alvord. And Rhett, for real, thank you so much for having me at your home to talk to you. Yeah. For hanging out with me and over here. I'm so excited to go on a ride right now. Let's go do this. Let's hit the beach.
Yeah.
Go hang out and everything. Thank you everyone for listening. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. Check out our webpage at this-connection.com. We're on Twitter and Instagram. Please give us a like, a review, a share. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you guys think about the show. We're trying our best to make the show as good as we can, so we want to know how we can improve and everything. And thank you everyone for listening. I've been Ori.
I've been Rhett.
And we'll catch you on the next episode of Disconnection. Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yes, dude.
I just rambled a lot.
That was great.
Hopefully it wasn't